Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. Today you're going to see exclusive first look content of the Mustang GTD on Laguna Seca Raceway. This is my favorite track. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you would likely know that I had a GT500 and a GT500 carbon fiber track pack. Well, I took my carbon track pack on this same track and I got meatballed, which is a black flag, because the car is so loud. Thankfully, nothing like that happened with the Mustang GTD here, but it looks really quick on this track. So I want to show you this exclusive first look coverage of the Mustang GTD on this legendary racetrack. We're going to break down some important details with this, plus first drives to come out. So I want to touch base a little bit on that in today's video. We know that this car has started to get delivered for a handful of owners across the USA. So when we look at it being driven on the racetrack finally, this is a big deal. I hope more people drive these cars on the racetrack. Anyways, let's get straight to just a pure raw footage of it on the track, and then let's break down in terms of speed and other details that we know so far to try to triangulate where this car will sit. Is it actually going to be worth $300,000+? And I want to get your impressions too towards the end of the video. So stay with us. Let's play the footage and then let's get right back to it.
Are you going to be in track mode?
Real quickly, are you tired of getting rock chips on your car, especially from going to the racetrack? Well, this video is brought to you by Speed Phenom Film, your go-to destination for all your paint protection film needs. Located in Carlsbad, California, call 760-496-8607 today, or check out the contact information in the description down below to find out a quote completely for free and with zero hassle. Protect your car today so you can enjoy it. Back to the video. Okay guys, so we're back here inside the studio. Monterey Car Week was so much fun. We also had the chance to look at the new Carbon Series Ford Mustang GTD. They did a very private reveal. I didn't see any other journalists there, so I think we were like one of the only members of the media filming the new Mustang GTD Liquid Carbon Series. This is quite an expensive upgrade. I heard through the grapevine that it's about $550,000. Now, no one told me this in particular, but I was chatting with random folks around the GTD Liquid Carbon, and people were telling me that they asked and they were told it was 550 grand. So I don't have confirmation on that, but I would presume it's around that ballpark, because when you look at the Ford GT, it didn't double the cost of the car, but it was like a $200,000 option. And when you look at the GTD, if it is a $300,000 Mustang, $200,000 on top of that would be around $550K. There are a few different spots on the liquid carbon that aren't actually carbon fiber, and I noticed this when I was walking around the vehicle. If you saw our liquid carbon first look reveal, or if you haven't, go watch it or give it a rewatch, because you're going to see what I'm talking about. The A-pillars are not carbon fiber. It's just paint. Same with the louvers in a few other spots on the vehicle. The doors themselves, they aren't exposed fully carbon all throughout. They're bonded carbon on the exterior face of the doors. So they found some tricks in loopholes to really get this car looking good. At the same time, it's not a fully exposed carbon car in the same extent as a Ford GT would be with carbon fiber wheels. So that's going to segue us to the next point of this video. When we watch the reviewers so far out that have posted videos like, let's say, Top Gear, right? Or other big outlets, you know, they're showing us how fast this car is on the racetrack. And stay tuned for our test, which should be coming out very shortly. It's a very quick car. It's a capo car with the inboard suspension. That's just insane. A Mustang having that? That's crazy. But when we look back at the liquid carbon version, it saves, what, 13 pounds over a similarly equipped Ford Mustang GTD. So you're not really getting a significantly faster car with getting it all carbon fiber, which is something that I wouldn't have really expected. I would have thought, like, man, making a Mustang completely carbon, you'd be saving a ton of weight. But again, the doors, they aren't fully exposed carbon. They're still the steel, I believe, and the chassis is still steel. But comparing Ford GT and Mustang GTD together, well, the Ford GT has carbon fiber wheels. Why does this Mustang GTD not have carbon fiber wheels? That's a really, really important question to me, because you would instantly say probably, if you look at how wide those wheels are, it's like 325s up front, 345s or 55s out back. Those are like, what, 13-inch wide wheels. Making them carbon, you'd probably save 15 pounds per wheel. So maybe altogether 60 pounds or even more, towards 80, if all the wheels are carbon fiber. Why have they strayed away from carbon fiber wheels? Is it because from the years they've learned that when you go to the track and you drive really hard with a very track-focused car inspired by GT3 spec racing, that carbon wheels aren't the way to go? This is very peculiar to me. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. They have all these working partner relationships, right? With Carbon Revolution, or even, I can't recall what other brands use. Some brands are in-house, I believe, like Koenigsegg. Porsche has their own supplier now. Don't get me wrong, Carbon Rev currently supplies wheels for the Dark Horse, right? Does the Dark Horse have carbon wheels? Because in all essence, it's a track car, yeah, but it's not near the performance capability or speed of a GTD. I don't know. So I want to get your thoughts down below. What do you think of it driving on Laguna Seca Raceway? It looked like they were hauling pretty fast, which I love to see. The DRS seems really effective on that track, and it looked like they weren't lifting over turn one. A lot of people do that, and it's a drawback that is very scary, because if you lift on turn one, you know, if you don't go full throttle, it's very scary, because if you lift, the back end can get light. Luckily, this car has basically about a 50-50 weight distribution, so it's more not toned down, locked down than a standard Mustang would be with that front end bias. You want more weight out back, as much as possible for that kind of track, because not only can you accelerate out of a corner much quicker, but you can effectively keep the grip. So on that turn one corner where it goes over the hill and it's blind, you got to stay almost on full power or just on gas, so you don't shift that rear weight inertia forward, because that could spin the car. A few other things I want to talk about in this video before it ends. There's another aspect of this car that I'm curious about. Some of the reviewers, like Top Gear, they reference how, okay, it's got all the high-speed grip, right? But the rear-end grip seems to lack in a few other areas, like in low-speed corners. You can feel the weight. It's got the biggest front tires ever, so I don't think understeer will necessarily be a problem, especially when you have a massive 5.2-liter supercharged V8, like, right on top of those wheels. I think the rear end, though, when you look at a 4,200-pound car, I think it's more than 4,200 pounds, right? It can get a bit iffy in terms of managing that weight versus, and we're talking this in the context of versus something else, such as a 992 gen Porsche 911 GT3 RS. That car is 1,000 pounds plus lighter, so it's gonna be probably more agile. Anyways, I can't wait to share with you guys our coverage of how the Ford Mustang GTD drives. This is just some first look coverage of it at Laguna Seca Raceway. It looks good, it sounds good, it looks mean. I'm very excited to be an American car enthusiast too, with all the brands out there right now. Because not only are we getting the greatest cars ever from European manufacturers, British manufacturers, Italian manufacturers, we're also getting the best cars ever from American manufacturers. So let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It really does help me out. And subscribe for much more great content coming out your way. While you do that, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a new video coming out. I'll see you in the next one.